So could I just summarise what the Bible's basically saying in a couple of minutes? Yeah, cool, thanks. So what it's basically saying is, in the beginning there was God, and God created people, and he created people for a relationship with him. Now this was a special father-child sort of relationship, the father loving the kids, teaching them, involving them in the things that he's doing, and the kids trusting and obeying the father, enjoying his love, and joining him in the stuff that he's doing. There's a perfect relationship, but at a certain point, people decided they weren't going to trust God anymore. There were other voices that they wanted to listen to. They had their own desires that they were listening to. So rather than trusting and obeying God, they decided to trust and obey these other voices. And when they did that, the relationship with God was broken. Now, the Bible says that God is the source of life. So if you're separated from the source of life, the consequence of that is death. So from that point on, people were separated from God. Now people know that there's a gap, and they're reaching out and trying to bridge that gap in numbers of ways. Religion is a really big one. If I can follow these rules, follow these traditions, if I do the things that the holy person tells me to, then I can be close to God. Or maybe prayer and meditation. If I spend enough time in meditation, then I can be close to God. Other people, they're not necessarily thinking about God here, but there's a gap that they're trying to bridge. There's a sense of meaning or purpose. There's something that's missing, and they're still trying to pursue this. Now, some people do that through career. If I can get to the top of my profession, then I'll feel fulfilled. If I can earn a lot of money, then I'll be able to get anything I want, do anything I want, then I'll feel fulfilled. For some people, it's even family. If I can just give my kids the best, if I can, set them up for life so that they succeed, then I'll feel fulfilled. Other people, they're trying to fill this void, through other stuff: sex, drugs, alcohol, gambling, all sorts of things. They try and fill this void through these things. Now, some of these things might seem to work for a while, but ultimately they end here. They end in death because people are just unable to cross this gap by themselves. The good news is that God could have abandoned us when we rejected him, but he didn't. He reaches out. He wants people to be back in this relationship with him, and he's constantly reaching out and working in different ways. Some people, it's dreams and visions, it's circumstances, conversations like the one we're having now, lots of ways that God reaches out and invites people back into relationship with him. But the ultimate way he did that was through Jesus. Jesus came. Jesus had a perfect relationship with God, always trusted and obeyed his voice, lived out of that place of love and intimacy with the Father, and was always joining God in the things that he was doing. So Jesus had a perfect relationship with God, and this consequence of death did not apply to him. But he took our consequence on himself, and he died on the cross to create a bridge that would enable us to step back into this relationship. Then God rose him from the dead, and confirming everything that Jesus had said and done, and gave him authority. Gave him all authority. So now, if we are willing to stop listening to these other voices and stop trusting these other voices and our own desires and listen to God, trust and obey him, we can step back into this relationship, experiencing and enjoying his love, trusting and obeying him, and joining him as he reaches out and invites others back into this relationship. That's basically what the Bible's saying. What about you? Where would you see yourself on this picture?